Just give me a moment. We'll wait 1 minute here for Councillor Egan. She's not well, so she's going to come in on Zoom. So we'll give her a couple of seconds and then we will go. This is where we need some elevator music. I got it right here. I just let her know the link is coming. Well, we'll do the fun stuff. I'm sure she'll be here in a minute. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of council, Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. We would like to begin this meeting by acknowledging that we are gathered on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Inca, Kappa, and Silk people. Late items, I don't think we have any. Any public input? No public input. Is she here yet? Don't adopt the minutes until she's here. We can possibly. There we go. Nope, that's Holly. It's Holly. Can you hear me, Holly?
Yes, I can.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we'll just move ahead. We have 4.1 recommendation that the minutes of the regular council meeting held on February 10th, 2026 be adopted. Councillor Petrosi, Councillor Egan, or Etchart, any errors or omissions? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Oh, Councillor Hogan, sorry, not opposed.
So for reports from council, when I read this, it sounds that I attended the open house for the forestry, which I did not. So what I attended was the virtual town hall on forestry supports, but I did not attend the open house of the forestry.
Thank you. We'll get that taken care of. Thank you, Councillor Hogan. Again, we'll vote. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. 5.1, general matters, delegations to recognitions. Sister City program to be presented by Michael Arden. Michael, please come up and the floor is yours. I'll get you to push that button in front of you and I'll get you live. You are off, sir.
Thank you very much, Your Worship, council persons. I'll just have a seat here. Thank you. So I was looking into sister city programs and was quite surprised that Merritt does not have a sister city and is one of the few cities in BC and Canada, for that matter, that does not have a sister city program. About a month ago or a couple of weeks back, I sent in a proposal. I'm hoping that you've all had a chance to look at it. If you haven't, I can sort of skim through it. If you have, then I can just go to what I'm proposing. So what I would like to do is work towards getting a sister city for the city of Merritt. And I'm prepared to take on a lot of the work myself because I know that finances for any city is limited. I'm also proposing that we use a city in Korea. And the reason I say Korea is twofold. We have a large number of Korean Canadian residents in this city. And in addition to that, there's a lot of Korean tourists that pass through. In fact, they get off the bus right next to our city hall. So having a sign up there saying sister city of a city in Korea would be very beneficial. The advantages of a sister city are to promote culture, tourism, technology, or whatever we wish to set it up. And that's something to be determined at a certain point. I don't want to jump the gun and start doing that, but I was thinking certainly an art exchange would be something interesting. First Nations art there and get a Korean art back, but that's to be determined later on. I also was looking at a city called Capion, which is a city that's the site of the largest Canadian Forces battle during the Korean War. And there is a huge Canadian memorial there, but that city does not have a sister city in Canada. So I thought, well, that would be a good one to take on. It's about the same population, give or take, as Merritt, but the square miles or square kilometers, it's much, much bigger because the way the mayor position works there is the mayor is actually in charge of about 3 or 4 different cities. So it's far greater than Greater Vancouver for geographic size, but population wise, it's about the same as Merritt, give or take. And there, like I said, Capion does not have a sister city, which is something, or a sister city in Canada, which would be a good one to have due to the Canadian War Memorial there. In the outline, I talked about some places in Korea, and I gave some links, and I also gave towards the end the agreement between a couple of places that have a sister city, just as a sample. But the agreement would really be whatever you as council decide it would be. We have a large Korean population here, so I would be more than happy to write the letters to the various cities that we're proposing one at a time. And I'm sure that I can get one of my neighbors actually to translate for me, because I don't speak Korean or read or write. And I was also considering, if we put up a sign saying sister city, I could probably solicit the assistance of the local Korean residents, Korean Canadian residents, to assist with that financially, because I would like this to come in with as little funds as possible from the city or the taxpayer, and to try to get it through donations, get it through people volunteering their time, such as myself. That is my proposal in a nutshell. And if you've had a chance to read my submissions, it probably takes a little bit, take a few minutes to read it, but it has more information. If there's any questions, I'd certainly be happy to answer to the best of my ability.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation, Michael. Questions? Councillor Charney.
I like the idea of a sister city, but before I could approve this, I would definitely have to have concrete numbers. You know, more than I might be able to do this and I might be able to do that. So for
Understood.
me to approve the final draft, I would have to have numbers that the taxpayers would be asked to pay.
Absolutely, and I agree with you 100%. The reason I did not provide that is I did not want to do hours and hours of legwork without knowing that this could actually go forward. So I do appreciate that comment, and I'm more than happy to, if you want me to do the preliminary legwork, I'm more than happy to come back with numbers for the council.
Councillor Petrosi.
There's one community just wanted to talk about Salmon Arm.
Yes.
I just live in Salmon Arm, and they actually have a sister city, and they've got a friendship gate. It's part of their active transportation path. So when you walk that active transportation path, the gate is there. And just a little info. The city of Salmon Arm partnered with School District 83 to offer a student cultural exchange. The exchange program rotates between Canada and Japan on an annual basis for the reasonable cost to families, provides opportunity for some senior high school students, the opportunity to travel to the sister city to experience a rich culture. And anyway, if you're ever in Salmon Arm, just to check out the gate that's on their active transportation path. It's actually very nicely done, but I'm sure there is a cost. The flowers, the gardening, the upkeep of it. So there will be a cost if we go in this direction. But from what I understand, I think Merritt had tried this or attempted to have a sister city.
We used 2 years ago.
So anyway, that was just my two cents.
There
Thanks.
is an annual fee for registering with a sister city group. However, that is not a mandatory fee. It's a suggested fee.
Councillor Egan? You're muted, Councillor.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Nice presentation. I was just thinking, you had mentioned that there's a large Korean community in Merritt. Do you happen to know a better number than just a large?
No, I'm sorry. I don't. I know that there are at least three restaurants if you count Lower Nicola that have Koreans operating them. And I've got neighbors pretty much all around me who are of Korean descent as well. So I couldn't give you an actual number, but I can, if you want me to go forward with this, I can provide names of people who are willing to assist.
And I was wondering also if you've spoken to the Rotary Club because they have that international exchange as well.
I have not spoken to the Rotary Club. Thank you for that. I will make a note of that.
Thank you.
Councillor Olgan?
Thank you. So I see this initiative as a long process. So when we talk about a sister city, there is a legal document signed amongst the parties.
Yes.
So for that to get there, I need to see what is going to be the economic, prosperity that this kind of agreement can bring to both cities. So there are some municipalities that instead of going straight to the sister city initiative, they start with a friendship city.
Yes, there is a
And
friendship
It can
city.
be like a test, engagement. So to see how each city will get engaged and what is going to be the contribution from each one. So I see more that starting with a friendship city and moving on later on to the sister city right now, because we will have the data, we will have all the information that we will know or we will need to make any recommendations later on.
Yes, that's certainly a friendship city is definitely doable. And again, with the go ahead from council, I'm more than happy to look into that and come back for a future meeting with numbers, figures for costs and different propositions. I'm happy to do that. I just didn't want to jump the gun and do hours and hours of work and have it stalled.
100%. Councillor Baxter?
When I read over this report, I found it very financially risky and culturally risky. Like if you got somebody to translate it and they translated it a couple of words wrong, that could offend the Korean population and we could actually have more of an international incident. And asking for Indigenous art when we have lots of artists around the community that would be more than happy to send art, but just asking for just Indigenous arts to send back, that's not
That
art
was
to give.
That was more just an idea as opposed to a firm. It has to be Indigenous art. It was just an idea. However, the cost factor is all based on how far into it we want to go. And I'm proposing that do it as cheaply as possible. But I will come back with some numbers. And as far as your other point was, the letter writing, my neighbor who said that she would translate is from Korea, and that's her first language. So I'm not too concerned about that part.
Councillor Petrosi?
Yeah, just echoing Councillor Olgan's comments there about friendship agreement instead of like a sister city agreement, but friendship city or friendship agreement. So thank you.
I can, if the council wants, I can pursue that.
So thank you, Michael, for your presentation. So I had a chance to meet the Korean Consul General about a year and a half ago. He came with his wife and we had a nice meeting. So I still have the ability to contact him at any point in time. So when something like this comes forward, what we end up doing is we bring in his information, then we send it to staff and we start doing some work on our end. So that's what we're going to do at this point in time. We're going to receive this as information. And then there'll be some guidance from council, most likely would go to a thing called policy committee, where we'd start talking about that, and then we start to flesh out which one direction we want to go. And then get a hold of you and let you know how things are going to go. So
Thank you.
that's the direction we'll move in. So we're going to receive this as information.
Thank you.
And then we'll work on that from there. But thank you for the idea.
So
Thank
at
you for
this
bringing it
point,
forward.
at this point, I won't do any more research, but if I am available to do more if wanted.
We will work on that as, so like I say, something like this is it's a bigger onion and then just saying, yeah, here we go. So we gotta, because you're dealing with other countries and stuff like that. So at this point, we'll take that for information. So thank you, Michael. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for your time.
I'll get you to push that button in front of you there. Kill that mic. Thank you. Number 6, Committee of the Whole. The Committee of the Whole considered the following resolution on February 17th, 2026. I'll read it out. Just put my glasses on. We have recommendation that council approve the following 2026 grant and aid funding applications. Grasslands 4-H Club, $500. Nicola Valley Dirt Riders Association, $1,000. Nicola Valley Community Garden Society, $1,000. Friends of Merritt Junior A Hockey Society, $500. Tumbleweed Play School, $1,000. Merritt Little Britches Rodeo Club, $1,000. Nicola Valley Community Band, $1,000. Merritt and District Hospice Society, $1,000. And that council approve the following 2026 grant and aid in-kind applications. Merritt Stock Car Association, $1,000. Merritt Otter Swim Club, $1,400. Merritt Volleyball Association, $1,387.50. Nicola Valley Farmers Market Association, $1,200. And Merritt Country Christmas Committee, $7,500. I need a seconder. Councillor Ogun, Councillor Baxter, any questions on this? All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you for that.
Aye.
Just to remind you that we, thank you, Councillor Egan. Just to remind you, we still have one on hold, which is the Citizens on Patrol, and we're getting a legal opinion on that. So moving on to 8.1. 8.1, City of Merritt Fire Rescue Department Establishment and Operations Amendment Bylaw number 24172026. We have 3 recommendations. I'll read the first one, that the City of Merritt Fire Rescue Department Establishment and Operations Amendment Bylaw number 24172026 be given a first reading. Councillor Petrosi, Councillor Baxter. Any questions on that one? As we hear silence. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed? Carried. Recommendation number 2, that the City of Merritt Fire Rescue Department Establishment and Operations Amendment Bylaw number 24172026 be given a second reading. Councillor Baxter, Councillor Etchart, any questions on that? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Third recommendation, that the City of Merritt Rescue Department Establishment and Operations Amendment Bylaw number 24172026 be given a third reading. Councillor Etchart, Councillor Charney, any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. New business. Hold on a second. Non-medical cannabis retail store application, 1700 Garcia Street, Unit 108. Recommendation that council direct staff to conduct a public hearing to gather comments from the community regarding the non-medical cannabis retail store application at Unit 108, 1700 Garcia Street, Merritt. Councillor Petrosi, Councillor Olgan. Questions? Councillor Etchart.
I know in the past, when we had received the first application in the last council term, we had a limit, and right now we don't have the limit of the 4 stores. But have we received any feedback from existing cannabis retail operations?
I think that's what the public hearing would bring up.
Okay.
So at this point, it's just the application, and that's what the public hearing would bring forward, this kind of thing. So I do not believe we've heard anything. No, because this is just coming to light right now.
Yeah,
So
because I know at one point there was an application for a 4th
Yes.
store that had been open, and then they didn't proceed with their application, and that was a few years ago because there had already been 2 others. And then
Mhm.
since then, we have the 2 downtown on Colchena, and then the one up top. And then I don't know if similar substances are being sold at the lemonade stand or at the vault shop on Nicola, but I think that before we approve anything, probably people would want to have the public hearing so their comments could be shared.
So also, I mean, we talk about, when I was on council, we did put a limit to a certain degree at 3 at one point in time, but that's when this was just started come out. I think that was 2012. And and that has been removed. But also, I think as the CIO and I had a conversation, the market value will determine who stays and who goes. It's just that simple. If you can't support four, one will close. It's just the way it goes. Councillor Baxter.
I'm just worried that if we're having 4 stores in town, I work at a high school, and now they're getting access to so many drugs and overdoses, and having a 4th store just scares me beyond no end. I think there should be a limit of just 3 stores in Merritt. That's just my opinion.
Who's next? Councillor Turner.
Under the executive summary, it says, under the Cannabis Control and Licensing Act, LCRB can only issue the retail store license if a positive recommendation regarding the license application is received. To me, another cannabis store is not a
I'm sorry.
positive move.
Love it earlier. We should probably leave opinions until after a public hearing if we go that far.
Okay.
Because we have to keep an open mind moving in through the process. So if you don't mind me saying, sorry.
Nope. Okay.
Got it in.
So the recommendation that has been moved and seconded is that council direct staff to conduct a public hearing to gather comments from the community regarding the non-medical cannabis retail store application at Unit 108, 1700 Garcia Street, Merritt. Councillor Hogan.
Okay, so just for my own understanding, because it's not clear. So we would be moving forward with the public hearing to see if we want to have a 4th location in Merritt, or we are discussing a cap in the number of stores in the community.
So for myself, when I read this, it is public hearing to gather comments from the community regarding the non-medical cannabis retail store. So I think the comments coming back would guide our decision whether we would approve it or not. If we get 85% of the people saying we don't want this, then I think the decision is made for us.
So at what point we should discuss a number that we cannot, exceed of these stores in our municipality?
That would be something you could put to policy. We did have it at one point in time.
There is
Yeah, we did have that at one point in time where we said no more than 3. And then that was removed. It was removed by another council or another bylaw. The bylaw right now is open. It doesn't say how many. But that is something that could go to policy and you could put a number on that.
So my question to council is, do we feel comfortable, dealing with this application right now that there is no cap, for this specific industry, or we go straight to the public hearing?
CEO?
Thank you, Your Worship. Couple of things. We do have Director of Planning and Development. If you need more information on the overall process, he's prepared to come and talk to you about that. The history on this is, I think it was in 2020, I sent you the information. Council decided to remove the cap from the number of, that was, I think, 4 at the time, from the zoning bylaw. So if you're going to reconsider a cap, we have to go back to the process of looking at the zoning bylaw. Right now, this is about, are we going to support it or not through other reasons? We need to have some public input one way or the other, and then provide some information back to the regulator. Probably a little bit tricky one way or the other if we don't have a specific rule we're quoting at the time, no question. But the council of the day decided that the limit was not necessary back in 2020, so they removed it from the zoning bylaw.
Councillor Hitchcock.
So if we go to the public hearing, then people get a chance to submit their comments, and then we can ascertain from there what comments that we can share and give our decision, I suppose.
Public hearings, usually the best.
No foul from that.
Councillor Egan.
Thank you. I think it's our responsibility as council to not set guidelines for how many whatever number of stores you have in the community. But I think that because we already have 3, and I'm not sure how well used they are, but I think it's more about what the community feels is enough, and that we should pay attention to that. So a public hearing is necessary.
Okay. So I have it moved and seconded. Any other questions or comments? So this will be, the motion is to go to a public hearing. All those in favor? Opposed? 1 opposed. Carried. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Budget open house. To be presented by Communications and Engagement Manager. Kim, that would be you. Sure.
Great. There we go. Okay. So. All right, so yeah, so we had an open house on January 29th. So we had two sessions, one 12 to 2, the second one 6 to 8 p.m. And the overall layout was exhibit tables in the donut format so that the CFO could easily support other department tables. We had a presentation by a CFO. And we also had democracy and later an online survey. I'll talk more about that later, and discussion tables. So we had a fairly strong attendance, over 100 attendees, which was actually, looking back a couple years ago, we had like 5 citizens attend an open house. So we're doing quite well, getting a lot more engagement than we have in previous years. So the presentations in particular were lauded for the helping to deliver a clear key messages to the target audience, as well as recognized for possibly increasing public attendance as another draw to come to the open house event. So for public participation, we had a democracy panel where we gave residents the opportunity to vote on where they would like to see greater or lesser investment. After this event, we opened it up on the survey online and are allowing residents to continue to contribute. Those who were not able to attend the open house, they can still contribute. And we set a deadline of February 28th for people to submit all their responses. So as of today, we have 29 responses in there. The report to council to date that you have received does not include these 29 additional responses. So once I have all the responses, I will include that in another report to council. So other than the open house, we've put a lot of this information on the website. So there's a good overview there of the budget, plus links to the draft budget, plus links to the meeting. So everything's nice and easy and handy for residents to get more information on the budget. I have a little note at the bottom saying, like, under transparency, 2 people voted to receive information online versus 1 vote for an open house. Not enough numbers to mean anything, but sharing anyways. And also we've been advertising throughout January and February about to encourage public engagement. So that includes radio advertising, posters around town, social media, and print advertising in the city page in the Merritt Herald. And so frequently asked questions, we had assigned note takers to counselors and the CAO and CFO at the budget open house, and we recorded the questions, and we have develop thorough answers to those questions. Those have been included in your report to council, and once accepted, I will add those Q&A to the website as well. So I've just given a short overview of some of the top first questions, but there's lots more questions in there. So democracy responses. So you can see here that most people, the top 3 votes for having more services were economic development, by law enforcement, and roads and sidewalks. And then for less services, it was recreation, garbage, and bylaw enforcement.
Really?
Yeah. And then for a vote for more employees, RCMP, economic development, and bylaw enforcement. And capital projects, I just noted the top 2, which was water supply and water sewer infrastructure. And the vote for a tax increase, people preferred the regular annual increases versus the lumpy tax response. Top comments that we received on sticky notes were people's top concerns were around economic development and the tax burden, and secondary concerns were around infrastructure, roads, placemaking, and bylaw and security. And just overall mission and metrics here. Historically, the city of Merritt's done a great job of informing, but the full IAP2 spectrum, it also includes consult, involve, collaborate, and empower. So moving forward, we want to incorporate all 5 of these in public engagement initiatives. And the second part of this is to actually collect and analyze the data and provide the data to council so that they can make informed decisions. Right now, the information you have here, I would call it anecdotal as opposed to statistically relevant, but at least we're working in that direction. So a greater investment would be required to get better statistically relevant data. And next steps would be update the website with the FAQ, consolidate the extra survey responses to give you a more comprehensive review of what people are saying, promote future meeting dates, and advertise final bylaw adoption. And I'll leave that open to whatever other suggestions people have for their promotion.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Any questions from council on this? Glad to see the people coming out for it. Glad to see that we're getting more and more questions asked. And I think, like you mentioned, the open houses seem to be at a much different level than they used to be. I think they're very professional. I think they're very well done. Very proud of the crew that does it. So yes, we actually, believe it or not, I think as a council, we all enjoy actually being there. Even for the tough stuff. So we'll have Councilor Petrosi.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, I did talk to some of the people that attended and they were really impressed with the CFO's presentation. So I just wanted to put that out there. So excellent. Thank you.
So we do have a motion in front of us, recommendation that council receives the February 19th, 2026 report of the Communication and Engagement Management Manager entitled Budget Open House Feedback for Information. Councilor Petrosi, Councilor Etchart. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. 9.3 Special Council Meeting Budget Review. We have a recommendation that council direct administration to schedule a special council meeting on Friday, March 6th, 2026 from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Recommend that council direct administration to schedule a special council meeting on Saturday, March 7th, 2026 from 10 to 2 p.m. So I guess we pick which one we would like. Councilor Petrosi.
Yeah, I'd prefer the Saturday.
Okay. Councilor Baxter.
I prefer the Saturday.
You? Councilor Charney, Saturday. I'll go Saturday. Okay, Saturday. Councilor Etchart.
I don't mind either day, but the report did say that Friday was easier for staff availability and scheduling. And also, we just got an email that our MLA is having their office grand opening on March the 7th, so it's the same day. I think it's between 11 and 2,
Yeah,
so
let's do
if we
that.
have a break in there so we can make an
I'm
appearance.
sure we can. I'm
Um,
sure we can work something around that.
but I just thought I'd remind you before you all make your comment. And also, can staff make it work for Saturday, or would they prefer to have it Friday? Because
Well, they're the one who made the, they've made the offer, so. I mean, for me, I'm good for either one. I don't really care.
I prefer Friday.
Fine, Friday it is. Fine, Friday it is. So recommendation that council direct administration to schedule a special council meeting on Friday, March 6th, 2026, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Is that gonna, Counselor Baxter, is that gonna bother you for school?
I'm gonna just make it work. I'll just book the day off.
I need a, oh, Councillor. Are you done?
I was done from earlier.
Okay.
Sorry, thanks.
I need a mover in a second. Councillor Hogan, Councillor Charney, any other questions on this? Oh, CEO.
If I may, just wanted to follow up with a little bit of sort of the what's next. So this meeting, we believe you guys had asked for a bit of a working session on this. We've tried to do everything we can. The CFO has done a great job of reorganizing information, getting you good graphic information. We've had an open house. We've got you in front of the public. Now we need sort of that direction going forward, and we are on a bit of a timeline. So what we're gonna do going forward is there gonna be more concern of, further open house, further working sessions, whatnot. So I need you to consider the timeline moving forward, that we have to hit certain dates on things. So it may seem like we have a lot of time if we're not required to get things done until May, but that's gonna come up on us really fast. So think about what you'd really like to see going forward and what you need. And we want to do everything we can to get it to you as quick as possible.
Are we
Thank you.
still excuse me, are we still talking about budget?
It is budget.
Yeah.
Okay,
This whole thing is budget.
and I understand that, but I thought there was just the one timeline or the one deadline.
Yeah, the timeline to get the bylaw done, we're on a fairly fast slope and competing with other priorities and whatnot that have to be done in the finance sector. So I'm just suggesting if you have things you want to see happen, we start talking about those as soon as possible. So that way we can keep the momentum going on the budget.
We've had a fairly couple good meetings with a lot of good information, so there shouldn't be too much left over here. So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Thank you. 9.4. Finance year-end reserve resolutions. We have 1, 2, 3, so we'll do the first one. Recommendation that council authorizes a 2025 contribution of $371,827 to the Protective Services Reserve. Councillor Baxter, Councillor Etchart, any questions on this one? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Second recommendation that council authorizes a 2025 contribution of $69,593.32 to the interest funded housing reserve. Councillor Hogan, Councillor Baxter, any questions on this? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Last recommendation that council authorizes a 2025 contribution of $619,307.43 to the interest funded infrastructure and operations reserve and direct staff to charge an admin fee of $100,592.96 to the ROC operations for services provided to ROC operations and paid out as a general fund, which is funded by municipal taxation levies. Councillor Etchart, Councillor Hogan, any questions on this?
I would just like that explained a little bit more, please.
Sure. CAO? Sorry, CFO? CFO, over to you.
Is there something specific that I can comment further on?
Well, it says, I'm not sure if it's coming out of the grant. Like you're charging. We've got 619,000 that we want to put into the interest-funded infrastructure and operation reserve. And you say direct staff to charge an administration fee. So that's, the city is going to charge 100,000 and 5 or 600,000 to ROC. That comes out of what? That grant that we got?
Correct. So we generated interest revenue and $619,307 will be placed in reserve from that interest revenue. Then in recognition of the costs that get paid by the general fund, audit fees, staff, etc., that the Treasury Board funds would pay the fee of $100,592
Back to the city
back to the city.
to cover the work done by city staff.
Correct. Audit fees, etc.
Okay. I
Any
think
other
I
questions?
got
Any other questions?
kind of convoluted.
All those in favor?
I,
Opposed? Carried. Nice to see some money going into reserves. Good job, everyone. 9.5, 2026 BC Economic Summit Conference. We have a recommendation that Council Baxter and Councillor Etchart attend the 2026 BC Economic Summit in Penticton on May 11 to 14, 2026, and that funds be allocated from the council conference account. Councillor Ogun, Councillor Petrosi, any questions on this?
I think you'll have a great time. It's a lot. It's very interesting. You'll really love it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 9.6, a single egress stairway policy. This policy was considered by the Policy and Bylaw Review Committee on February 5th, 2026. Recommendation that council adopts the single egress stairway policy attached to the February 10, 2026 report of the fire chief entitled Single Egress Stairway Policy. Councillor Baxter, Councillor Ogun, does anybody need an explanation on this? I do believe this is the double negative, correct, Chief? Yes.
Yeah.
This is the double negative, yes.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 9.7. Shopping carts. Shopping cart procedure. This item was referred to council from the Policy and Bylaw Review Committee meeting February 5th, 2026. Recommendation that council approve the procedure outlined in the February 11th, 2026 report of the Director of Corporate Services for addressing shopping carts in the community. Councillor Ogun, Councillor Petrosi. So we did have a meeting, as you saw, and this is pretty much their idea. So
Okay.
this is how they would like to see it. I think it takes some onus off of our bylaw officer, and that way carts can be returned. Any other questions? Councillor Baxter.
How much time is still being taken up by bylaw to do this?
Well, Seal, you want to take a stab at this? Seal.
Thank you, Your Worship. What we've been able to determine is that each cart, cleaning it or emptying it out, picking it up, moving it, takes approximately half an hour for each cart. How many carts we're doing, I don't have the current tracking numbers because we haven't really been managing carts at this point. We kind of let that go for a little while. So I don't have any current statistics.
So just to touch on that, when we went into this meeting, I had received the report 2021, 22, 23, and I do believe 24, 4 years. Or was it 20? Yes. And I calculated the time based on what I feel our bylaw officer is making, and it worked out to $10,000 in forwards. Basically, on carts, the way it's being handled at this point in time. Now, we had representation from every store but one. All the managers were there, and this is what they feel will work best. And this is what I think we should do at this point in time. And if the wheels fall off of that, then we'll discuss something else. Shopping cart joke there. Just there's a shopping cart joke, everyone. I got it. Do I have a mover and seconder on that? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Oops. 9.8. Christmas, December 25th, January 01 City Hall closure. This item was considered by the Policy and Bylaw Review Committee on February 5th, 2025. There's a recommendation that council rescind the City Hall Christmas closure policy. I need a mover and a seconder.
I'll move it.
Counselor Egan, Counselor Petrosi, any questions on this? Counselor Baxter.
I don't want to rescind this policy. I want to keep the policy as is, as written from all the different years. I think it's a fine policy and I'm gonna stick with it.
Counselor Etchart.
I don't see the need to rescind this policy. The staff will use their holidays, essential services, emergencies, things will be addressed. Most citizens aren't coming in to pay taxes, get permits and do other things. It's a quiet time of year, a good time to use holidays. I can understand different opinions around the table. And I also think that with some of the things that staff have to deal with, questions, concerns, public abuse at times, I think it's something to help retain staff. Sometimes there's things that employers have to do to attract staff. Some bigger municipalities, some smaller ones, maybe they have different hours. And if we're somewhere in the middle in a combination, I think it's worked, and I think we should keep our closure the way it is.
Thank you. Counselor Charney.
I ran my election on two key principles, accountability and transparency. So I'm going to try and relate accountability and transparency with regards to this matter. So for accountability, the public accountability requires visibility and access. Closing it for that period of time denies access. So when City Hall is closed, residents cannot walk in to ask questions, cannot speak directly with staff, cannot observe normal operations. So there's no way for the public to know what work is being done. They are unanswerable to the public in real time. For transparency, it means posting notices or answering emails later than we would normally expect. Closed doors create a perception of decision-making happening out of public, reduce responsiveness during a time when many residents actually have time off to attend City Hall. Transparency requires open access, not just internal work behind locked doors. And I also brought this up, inequity to other employees. Many city employees work regular hours, perform their normal duties, interact directly with the public throughout the Christmas period. Public works, utilities, emergency services, recreation, those are all examples of public employees working. When administration staff work behind closed doors while others remain fully public facing, it creates an appearance of unequal treatment, internal morale issues, a public perception of two classes of city employees. Misalignment with community standards. Most government and businesses did close on statutory holidays. When City Hall exceeds this norm, it disconnects local government from the community it serves. It undermines public trust. It raises legitimate questions about service expectations versus service delivery. And one of the big things for me is taxpayers are paying to have City Hall open, and that is being denied. They don't have access to the services. Taxpayers are paying full price for a partial service during this time. So I've beat this around the bush many times, and that's as much as I can do. And I think it should be rescinded, and we go to statutory holidays only.
Thank you. Counselor Hogan.
Yeah, so in my mind, I feel that there is no meaningful service loss. Essential services continue, emergency lines remain staffed, and payments can be still made without penalty. Additionally, the closure produces financial liability by ensuring the staff use accrued vacation rather than banking it. Overall, I believe that rescinding the policy offers little public benefit while creating staffing and financial challenges.
Counselor Egan.
Yeah, thank you. I just had an issue with the way 9.8 was written up. There was a letter or an outline. I'm sorry I didn't print that page out, but I do recall reading that we were either going to be rescinding the policy or adopting another policy, but it didn't have another policy there to adopt. And it didn't say about going to policy about it, to the policy review committee. So I just think it shouldn't be rescinded, or it should be rescinded, pardon me. And that I would like a little more clarification on what was written on that other page.
Kind of drawing a blank here. Can you give us the
I
paragraph?
can't because I don't have that. I didn't I didn't print that page out today when I was at work.
Hmm,
Wendy?
The, is the policy, closure policy attached? That's the, no, it's not attached.
No.
And that's what Counselor Egan is saying. And on page 3, it says attachments, Christmas, December 25, January 1, City Hall closure policy. It's not attached.
so it's not attached. What does council like to do? Do you want to put this over until the next meeting, or what do you want to do? Pardon me?
I didn't say anything. Well, you can take a vote and see where it goes, maybe.
Hold on a sec. We're just getting the policy over to the CO. CO.
Could we clarify the question again in regards to the policy?
I think what
Yeah.
Counselor Egan is saying is it says it was attached for us to read, and it was not attached for us to read.
Okay, that's my error.
Okay.
I apologize for not having the policy attached. The report is there. The policy was attached to the previous report that went to the policy committee.
But I think also in that page, you say something about or adopting another policy along that line. Does it not say that somewhere there, Councillor Charney?
If the policy would be defeated, yes, that would be an option for someone to bring up a new policy, yes.
Return the
Correct.
policy to staff
Yeah.
with direction for changes.
So
Thank
that if this policy gets defeated, then somebody would make a motion for a new policy. So with that being said, so before us, we have a recommendation that council rescind the City Hall Christmas closure policy. Do I have a mover and seconder? Yes.
We do, yes.
Yeah. So all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Or defeated,
No.
sorry. Defeated,
Defeated.
sorry.
Yes.
10, notices of motion. Myself submitted the following notice of motion at the February 10, 2026 regular meeting of council. A recommendation that bylaw 2412 waterworks and bylaw 2386 fees and charges be forwarded to the policy and bylaw review committee for further review. And I don't know if anybody would like me to explain my reasonings. I can very well. It's simple that people are a little bit unhappy with some of it, and I think we need to look at it and see if these concerns are legit. Councillor Baxter, Councillor Ogun, first and second, all those, any other questions?
Me?
All those in favor?
No.
Opposed?
No.
Councillor Charney, go ahead.
I'm glad we are doing this because I had a phone call today with regards to a concern with one of the bylaw amounts. So it'll be perfect timing to bring this up at that time.
Anyone else? All those in favor? Opposed, carried. Your mic is still on, Councillor Charney. Don't want to catch you on a hot mic. CAO report. CAO report is in front of you. Again, another well-detailed report. Any questions on the CAO report? Councillor Baxter?
I just want to say I enjoy reading your report from all the departments. It's very thorough. I understand a lot more about the city and what's happening and what's moving forward. Thank you.
I end up putting these in a binder actually, so I can refer to them if somebody has a question for me, because it's really easy to find the information very quickly. So again, thank you. Councillor Charney.
I really find it's very informative. It keeps me up to date. And believe it or not, CAO, I don't have any questions this time. So, but excellent report. Thank you.
Do we have that on tape?
I agree.
Council resolutions, of course, just what, Councillor Petrosi, sorry.
I just had a question on the CAO report of about water meters. We had spoken earlier before the meeting about older homes, possible turnoffs at the lot or at the road versus turnoffs in the residence. And if you want to just explain that again.
Seal. Yes, thank you, your worship. So yes, Counselor actually had a ratepayer concerned by the sounds of it on what's being turned off and what's not being turned off. So it sounds like somebody might have been digging in their front yard looking for the curb stop. So if the curb stop's not up and visible, and many aren't, they've been hidden by landscaping for many years in a lot of cases, it doesn't give you a backup for your internal valve inside the house. So if the contractor goes in and has some concerns about the plumbing in the house being old or not liking the material, they're gonna go out and try and turn the curb stop off to give a backup so we don't have pressure coming into the house when they operate the internal valve. If they can't find the curb stop, then we bring the crew in to locate the curb stop. In a lot of cases, we have to service it and replace a rod and whatnot and get it operational and then turn it off. So we take the pressure off the house while they do the work. So just in case the valve inside the house breaks or the plumbing isn't great, it allows them to work without that holding the pressure back. Does that make sense? I covered it?
And when they did the streets on Canford Avenue, we had a lot of that, when we did the pipes. Almost every house, the curb stop couldn't find it. And they were located, and then they put a PVC collar around it, painted a red top and put it on top. So now everybody's curb stop is visible. So I think that's probably something that gets done as we move along now with pipes.
Yeah, and if I may, actually, we're looking at the design and construction standards go with our development services bylaw. And I'm really considering putting a requirement in there for something like a box to go around those things with a lid on it. So that, you know, when you do your landscaping, it's virtually impossible to mess with these things too much.
Yeah, and you know, when you've got a neighbor whose pipe breaks in the house and they can't find a curb stop, it's pretty, that's what happened to my neighbor, and it was pretty unbelievable. By the time they found it, there was so much damage was done, so.
Yeah, or we have to turn a couple of blocks off to take the pressure off.
So thank you. Anything else on the council resolutions? We have some information items. There's a couple in front of you. Base Coast, we have a request for a letter of support. From Nicola Valley Rodeo, we have a request for a letter of support. And those require council approval. Councillor Baxter. Oh. So we do have a request for a letter of support from Base Coast. Let's deal with that one first. Councillor Olgan, Councillor Baxter. Anybody want to address that? Are we good? All those in favor?
Right.
The Nicola Valley Rodeo request for a letter of support. Councillor Baxter, Councillor Olgan, again, any questions on that one? All those in favor? Thank you. We have something from Nicola Valley and BC Farmers Market Nutrition Coupon Program. I did send a letter to the Minister of Health asking her to extend that. I know we received them. I sent it to everybody on council. So they asked if I would do that, and I did, and I think it's a good program. So hopefully they will be able to do that. You know what I don't see? Council report. So
You jumped it.
I see CAO report. Oh, council, no, I see reports from council. Let's go back to 11. We're back to 11. Council reports. Nobody's pushing back. Councillor Etchard.
Well, last couple of weeks have been kind of busy. February 11th went to the Crime Stoppers meeting, and so that was interesting information. Just trying to keep information current and trying to get maybe some messaging for the sign. They got put into a crime or some magazine write-up about our sign that's going into Merritt. So the group here in Merritt was quite happy. February 12th museum meeting. They were getting ready for the upcoming Heritage Week. So of course that happened last week. Arts Council, they have some changes. So they have a new curator there. I think it's Shannon Dunn, and they have a new show going on there now. One of the students that graduated from MSS a few years ago, I think it was Claire, I believe anyway. A local resident having a show there, so it's interesting to see. Last Tuesday, we had the COW meeting for Grant and Aid, so that went well. We had an ESS meeting, so regular meetings happening that way, trying to keep everybody's skill up to date in case we have an activation. Heritage Day at the museum was good. There was a lot of local residents. It was nice to see some of the old pieces of history from the Nicola Valley. Yesterday, Inca Kamak had a Beyond Borders session on some of the projects that they're working on. They have a cancer screening van that they're getting operational, and they have a forum that they're planning to network with different groups in the community. And they're planning on having a forum later in this year. So yeah, and that's it.
Thank you. Councillor Baxter.
On February 17th, I went to the Cal meeting, the Grant and Aid, and then February 19th, I went to the museum. I really like the museum.
Councillor Turner.
Kind of a slow week or 2 weeks. On the same day, I attended the Cal meeting for the Grant and Aid, and then again, Councillor Etchard attended the ESS meeting. And I certainly appreciate the work done by Adam Hart and Terry. They do a great job, and appreciate all the volunteers that come out.
Myself, February 11th, I attended a wildfire Zoom meeting about fighting wildfires. And to be honest with you, it was a 1 hour infomercial on buying a tower that shoots water all over the place. That's about all it was. So anyways, it wasn't a terrible thing, but it wasn't what it was supposed to be as far as I'm concerned. Also had the shopping cart meeting with the folks with the shopping carts. February the 12th, I did TNRD early in the morning. I had to come back in the afternoon or later in the evening. I did the museum walkthrough and then did a Call It Bill PAC meeting. I was invited to that, which was interesting. Councillor Etchart was there with me as well. We sat in the little kids' chairs and yeah, they were comfy. Of course, the cow meeting, did my Nicola Meadows visit. And then today I did my town walk and just kind of met with some people and listened to what everybody had to say. Anybody else? So the rumor control, the city is no longer going to respond to any questions on the AI Center. It's not our building. We just issued the permits. We don't know the water intake or not. We don't know how many people are going to be working there. We don't know any of that stuff. So we will no longer be responding to any more AI questions about the AI Center. That goes either to the owners of the building or the contractors of the building. We're simply not answering those anymore. Saturday is the coldest night of the year. If you're interested, you can walk, I think it's 4 o'clock down at the food bank. If you're so inclined, we've done it a number of years. Gas Buddy, Kamloops today, 128.9. The low, the high, 159.9. That's got to be a very quiet gas station at this point in time. Chase, they're at 125.9. Monty Creek, 127.9. Salmon Arm, 115.9 the low, 117.9 the high. Merritt, 128.9, the low, 133.9 the high. So Salmon Arm is the big winner. 115, that's a good price. Councillor Egan, anything from you?
Well, it's been really busy at work. We've been dealing with a lot of, I would like to say that the arenas have been very busy with hockey tournaments. I think there was a gentleman's hockey tournament this past weekend. The weekend before, there was a U16 or U15 boys hockey tournament. And then this past weekend as well, there was a U15 girls volleyball tournament. So the town's busy. It's hopping, and I'm glad to see it.
Yeah.
I did go to the various meetings, mostly as I'm meeting right now, because this stupid flu is just
No problem.
not leaving. Yeah.
Well, thank you for considering us and not infecting us all, the plague. We're going to move into closed session. Recommendation that this meeting be closed to the public pursuant to sections 91E, the acquisition, disposition, or expropriation of land or improvements. If the council considers that this disclosure could reasonably be expected to harm the interests of the municipality of the community charter. Councillor Petrosi, Councillor Baxter, all those in favor? Opposed? 5 minutes, everyone.
Am I allowed to stay for this? I guess.
Did you hear me, Dana? There won't be a second link. So if you want to just hang in there, we'll catch up with you.
Oh, okay. Thanks.